Shalom, brothers and sisters. I wanted to take time today. There's a lot of news to share, but I thought I'll get to the news tomorrow. There's lots of time for that. It never stops. We are barreling at light speed, beyond light speed, towards the rapture, and everything falling into place for that final week. So we'll catch up. For now, I wanted to share with you just a few thoughts that you can have a better understanding of what being called by Jesus really means to you. In John 10 verse 27, he says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." We hear his voice, he knows us, intimacy, and we follow him as you would follow a teacher, a rabbi, someone you're learning from. Matthew 4:19 and Mark 1:17 says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Right? Yeshua says, "Follow me." What did it really mean? What did he mean in a Jewish perspective by saying, "Follow me"? The Hebraic Jewish perspective here is the pinnacle to understand what the simple words "follow me" entails. It's a life-changing journey when you start digging into the meat of just those two words, "follow me." At the time of Christ, and even today still in Israel, when you're there, young men interested in ministry would go and listen to a variety of local teachers. So you would go to where the teachers are, and you would go and listen to various teachers and see which one intrigued you or grabbed your attention. After you've done that, the one you admired the most, you would go to them and you would say, "May I follow you?" You asked them if you could follow them. So while it was a reference to actually learning from the teachings of the teacher, it meant far more than that. The student in that culture to this day asked to be counted as a follower. But it was only the teacher who could determine if the follower had what it took to be like that teacher. At this point, the teacher, or rabbi in Hebrew, would either accept the talmid, the student, or he would encourage the young man to choose a trade rather than hope to be a teacher. So the teacher would judge the student, the hopeful student. Do I think you're worthy of my teaching and that you could be a representative of what I am and learn from me? And if I don't, dissuade you from following me. The teacher never asked the student to follow. The student had to ask the teacher. Now that's profound. And we know Jesus came and turned everything upside down. History clearly shows that a talmid, a student, didn't become a teacher like students of today learn to be ministers or pastors or things like that, or follow in biblical time. Today is a far cry. That whole concept from theological degrees and qualifications and certificates and things like that. They did learn much from the teacher's experience and wisdom, from his verbal teaching. But what was really sought by the talmid, the student, was to actually be like the teacher himself. This means action and deeds, not just knowledge. They wanted to look and live with and follow and walk with and absorb and become like said teacher in every way. Action and deed. A talmid followed his teacher everywhere, every hour of every day, rarely leaving the teacher's side for fear that he would miss an important moment. The talmid watched his teacher's every action, word and deed, trying to think and act in a similar fashion to his teacher. His deepest desire was to follow his teacher so closely that the student would eventually think and act exactly as his teacher. There's an ancient rabbinical blessing that's so beautiful that wraps this up so nicely, that says, "May you be covered with the dust of your rabbi." Meaning, the student was to walk so close to his rabbi, his teacher, that the very dust kicked up by the teacher's walking would fall on him. That's how close he was walking to his rabbi. Like John, literally at the table, lying on Jesus' chest. You couldn't get closer than that. He wanted to be that close. Every moment, every deed, every motion, every word, to become like his teacher. Intimacy, closeness, learning. Be covered by the dust of your rabbi. The word in Hebrew is acharai, follow me. Leadership is done by example. In 1 John 2 verse 5 to 6 it says, "But whoever keeps his word, truly the love of God is perfected in him. By this we know that we are in him. He who says he abides in him ought himself also to walk just as he walked." If you say you are a believer of Jesus Christ, if you say you are a follower of Yeshua, a child of God, walk as he walked. Do as he did. Speak as he spoke. Feel as he felt. Love as he loved. Live as he lived. May you be covered with the dust of your rabbi's footsteps. I hope that blesses you and makes you think deeper about something as small as acharai, follow me. Shalom.